And somehow after five guests now, absolutely directed by Chris Norman of Smokie fame. Chris, thanks for your company today.
You're welcome. Nice to talk to you.
The new album, or the new single, first of all, a song made famous by Willie Nelson and Elvis, but I would guess a favourite of yours.
They're all favourites, really, because they're all songs that I picked because I like them. They're all songs that I would turn up if I was driving along and any of these songs came on the radio. The songs that you turn up, you know what I mean? And so that's why all of these songs are difficult to pick one that you like the best, but I'm happy with the whole of it. The main thing for me was to get a varied collection, that they're not all old or slow or whatever. So there's like some fast tempo ones, and there's some songs that are newish. So yeah.
Okay, we'll look at the songs now in a second then. So the new album is Rediscovered Love Songs. Again, you say some of your favourites. One I picked out was the Bee Gees, To Love Somebody. And, did you know the Gibb brothers in the 70's?
I met them a couple of times. I wouldn't say I know them, but I met them. The funny thing was that I remember meeting them somewhere at a TV show somewhere. Anyway, I remember them. We're sitting in the same sort of hotel restaurant having something to eat, and they really were complimentary about. We just had our first hit then, called "If You Think You Know How to Love Me," and they were really complimentary about that because they really loved the harmonies in it, because it was their thing also. We were both like doing these harmonies in records. So, but I didn't know them very well.
So To Love Somebody must have been, it's a great song, isn't it? It's a fantastic
it's
lyrics
a great
to it.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty soulful too. So that's the reason I wanted to do it, because I felt it might suit my voice, and because it's kind of a soulful. There's a lot. I mean, the Bee Gees have got a catalogue of fantastic songs, but that was one I thought might suit my voice.
And then the Travelling Wilburys, handled with care. All those great musicians in the Wilburys. That was great to emulate, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, they're one of my favourite bands anyway, and to do Handle with Care, I thought, well, it's a pretty well-known song, but it's an up-tempo. I was looking for up-tempo songs because it's difficult to find songs that are to do with love that aren't slow, So that I thought, well, why not? That's about, Handle with Care, be careful, That's about love. And the thing was, then there was all those different parts. There's like the George Harrison part, and then there's the Roy Orbison part.
Yeah.
Then there's the Bob Dylan, Tom Petty part in the middle. And I thought, well, why not? I can sing them all. I'll just sing all the parts, So that's what I did.
You didn't alter your voice at all. You just kept going with your normal voice, did you?
Yeah, I thought, well, the thing that kind of Jeff Lynne, who was also in it and produced it, really, the thing that he did with all those things, really put like a different effect on each voice. So like there was like a delayed echo on Roy Orbison, which is kind of the way he always treated Roy Orbison's voice. And then the voice went really dry with Tom Petty and Bob Dylan and that. And I thought, well, I won't do that with the effects. I'll just keep the same sound on each voice, and it'll all sound pretty much like me. That's what I did.
So are you about to go on tour then next year? Is it? You're starting a small tour? Is that right?
I'm doing tours all the time. I've been touring a lot this year, and I've got a little bit more to do this year. Not that much, but I'm going to India in about 10 days to do a couple of festivals, and then Lithuania, and then Christmas, and then come back next year. I'll start to play again. I'm doing Ireland in February. I've got about 3 or 4 shows in Ireland, and we're going to try and tag on a UK tour just after that. So maybe spring I might be, somewhere in the vicinity of somewhere in the UK, hopefully.
Yeah, great. So will you obviously the songs will be in the tour now? Then what are the new songs? The new album songs?
Will they what be in the tour?
Will you be singing the new songs in the tour? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it at the moment because the album only just came out, but I will when I start next year again, because the thing is as well, we haven't had a chance to rehearse the new stuff. Because when you're on tour all the time, and then you've got like the stuff that you've been doing, and I had an album out in 2019, so we're still doing some of that stuff as well as the older stuff like Smokie stuff and everything. But this stuff, we've got to get into a rehearsal studio and just get the band tight and pick a few songs off this album to do in the next tours coming up next year.
It's great you're still doing the Smokie hits. I'm really glad you still include them in the show. It's brilliant, you know.
Yeah, well, you have to because it's like people come to see you. They want to hear the stuff that they don't want to just hear your new album. They want to hear the stuff that they remember from your history, as well. It's like if I go see Paul McCartney or something, I want to hear him sing some Beatles songs.
Yeah.
So it's the same. So yeah, I do quite a few. I do. I don't know, about 8 of them, I suppose, of the hits, because we had about 14 hits, I think, in the end, and I do quite a few of them, yeah, and mix them up with some of my own stuff, and it's a good mix, a good variety.
So, were you always going to be the lead singer of the band? Then was that always decided at the very beginning when Smokie was formed?
Not really. No, I mean, I started the group at school with Alan Silson, who became the lead guitarist, and we both got guitars actually for Christmas around about 1964. And after we came back from the school holidays, we both said, "Hey, we've both got guitars. Let's get together and play some stuff." So we did, and we didn't start off saying, "Well, you be the lead singer and I'll be the lead guitarist." We just both sort of played, and I just tended to sing a lot of the stuff that we were playing, which were all other people's songs in those days. And then Terry Utley joined a bit later, who was as a bass player, and it just turned out that way. I didn't sort of say I'm going to be the lead singer. Bag's the lead singer. I wasn't like that. We were just both playing, and it would probably be we'd do something, and Alan would say, "Oh, I know how to play that solo." So he'd do the solo and I'd do the singing, and it kind of went on like that.
But you came from a musical background, didn't you? I think was your parents in music as well, weren't they?
Yeah, my mum was a singer. My dad was in an act called the Four Jokers, which were like a Marx Brothers type thing, a British version of that, and they did like all gigs all over the country. My dad's act, the Four Jokers, even played a Royal Variety performance, and they did, that kind of stuff, showbiz. It was real show business stuff, I didn't really get interested in it until rock and roll came along.
Yeah,
that's when I started to sort of get the bug for that.
On Top of the Pops, you were regulars on that show, and it was fantastic to be on there just about every month, wasn't it?
Yeah, Top of the Pops, we did about, I think I worked it out once, we did like 45 appearances or something like that on Top of the Pops. So we were regulars, we were just. Yeah, well, I remember because when we first started doing it, it was very nerve-wracking. Oh my God, we're on Top of the Pops, and all these people around, pants people, and that sitting around with the curlers in the afternoon rehearsals and stuff, and just all the other people who you knew, were having hits and stuff. So we were pretty nervous the first appearance we did, but when you've done it a few times, you start losing that, and it becomes like just a thing you do, and you get a new record out, it goes into the top 40, you get on Top of the Pops. It was normal for us after a while, and then you do it again when it goes up the charts, and then again when it goes up the charts, and so you end up doing it all with every record. You're doing it like 3 or 4 times, So over the years, it becomes a lot.
So did you work with Mickey Mouse and Tin Chapman on the Rack label? Were they your producers and writers in those days?
Yeah, Mike Chapman was the producer. Nicky and Mike both wrote a lot of the hits. We were writing a lot at the time as well, but they tended to write these catchy tunes, so they were usually the singles. Mickey Mouse was the owner of the label, so we came across him quite a bit, and we did some recording with him as well. I mean, especially for other people, we did some session work for him, back vocal session work for him with the Heavy Metal Kids, and then later on with Donovan.
Right.
So we were in contact with Mickey as well, but it was a good time because they were a great label. They had loads of great artists on, and most of the artists were having constant hits because of how good the label was. They were just great at picking the right song to put out and then getting it played on the radio.
Yeah.
And then so most of the acts were having hits. It was great. It was a great time.
And that duet with Susie Quattro was a big US hit as well. Was that a surprise?
Yeah, it was a surprise, but it was got to number 4 in one chart, number 2 in another. I think Billboard was number 2, and one way or the other. Cashbox and Billboard were the 2 big charts. Yeah, it was a chance thing to do anyway, because we only we were at like a after show party somewhere and got up and sang some rock and roll together. And Mike Chapman, who was in the audience, produced Susie as well, and said, "You two, we could do something together. Would you fancy doing a record?" And we went, "Well, yeah, okay." And then I was in the studio a couple of weeks later doing Stumbling In, and yeah, I just sat in with her band, playing guitar with her band, and we put down the track, and for a B-side as well. And then we just did the vocal, actually round one mic, the two of us. We just stood on one microphone and sang it, you know. Like these days, you do it in bits, you know, and send it off. I'll send you the file, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But now, in those days, we the two of us sang on. We didn't even have a mic each. We just had one microphone, and we just stood together and sang the song pretty much as you hear it. And then it came out and was a big hit all over Europe. And it wasn't such a big hit in England for whatever reason, I don't know, because it was number one in all kinds of places in Europe, and then did well in America too. So, and now it's just had a bit of a resurge because it's been in a couple of movies, and it's been in what do you call it? Licorice Pizza was in that, and then it was in this Netflix series Dharma. So suddenly it's got like a bit of a resurgence, getting a lot of hits on Spotify and that again. So it's great.
And you can see it also being played on a video channel called Now 70's. It's played on there as well. I've seen it on there as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You'll see Susie Quattro's normal hits, and also then they'll put that one on behind it as well. And so it's like a double play of Susie Quattro. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, more the merrier.
Yeah. So I know you're touring a lot, but where are you based these days? Where do you actually live?
Mainly in the Isle of Man.
Right.
But I spend time in a lot of places, depending what I'm doing, you know. But that's where I go back when I'm, when I'm finished touring and what have you. That's where my family are, and they're all grown up now. And but that's where my main base is, the Isle of Man. I moved there in '86, and I've been there all that time. It's a long time. Yeah. We've been there now. We only went for a few years. We thought we'd go for 4 or 5 years. And that 30-odd years later, we're still there.
Right, okay. Well, thanks so much for spending the time today. It's absolutely brilliant to talk to you. And thanks for being my After Five guest. And, well, we're going to play All It Was On Your Mind then to finish off the interview. Thanks so much today.
Fantastic.
Thank
nice
you
to talk to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.